Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, that's right, right. Thank you very much, Mr. Katz. We will start this work session. It's good seeing everyone. Why don't we start off with page number 1. Mike Fields, County Attorney, you want to talk to us about the agreement with the opioid litigation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, we are asking for your approval to enter into a retainer agreement with Robbins, Geller, Rudman, and Dowd LLP, a law firm with offices all over the United States, and a local firm known as Silverman, Thompson, White, and White, Slutkin and White LLC, to join at least 63 other political subdivisions in what's being called the National Prescription Opiate Litigation that is to be tried as a multi-district litigation in the federal court in the Northern District of Ohio, which is in Cleveland. Robbins, Geller, and Silverman Thompson were chosen from amongst 5 different sets of local and national firms that had minimum 1-hour interviews with me, the county executive, and the deputy county attorney. The firms that we chose are widely regarded for their handling of complex litigation, but I would mention that any of the groups that we met would have been fine choices, but we were convinced that this group and its recommendation that we join forces with other political subdivisions in the multi-district litigation would be the best option for the county. Robbins Geller is also representing other political subdivisions in Florida and Michigan, which they argued would put them in a strong position to be named to the executive committee, the kind of group that would sort of oversee the litigation for the plaintiffs in the litigation, and indeed that's what happened. So we're working with the firm that's going to be a little bit closer to the decision makers than a lot of other jurisdictions. Montgomery County also, for what it's worth, chose them as well. The deal provides that outside counsel will advance all fees and expenses necessary to prosecute the case. Costs and expenses will be paid out of any recovery, meaning any judgment. They'll be paid in the amount of $25 of any recovery net of costs and expenses. They'll also, interestingly, what? Did I say 25% of any recovery? They will also indemnify and defend the county to the fullest extent allowable by law for any claims asserted against us for our institution, prosecution, or resolution of this action, including but not limited to claims or sanctions involving attorney's fees. It's my feeling that this action on our part comports with concerns that the council has raised. You'll recall, of course, that you passed Resolution 9917 asking the health department to look into this issue, and I've observed the council being very supportive and concerned when Dr. Branch has come here asking for supplemental appropriations to keep fighting this opiate issue. We're before you because Section 510 of the Charter authorizes us to seek outside counsel when the work to be done is of such a character, and I'm quoting now, or magnitude as to require legal services in addition to those provided by the regular staff of the Office of Law. This kind of mass tort litigation is pretty well outside our practice areas and the workload capacity of the Office of Law. Of course, again, we don't see this as costing the county anything but time in terms of helping outside counsel with the case to the extent that it's needed. So we're just asking for your support and your authority to execute this retainer agreement.
Okay. Any questions? Yes, Councilwoman Bev.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I have 3 questions. I am supportive of this. We just met with the chief of our Baltimore County Police Department, and we're hearing over and over again how this opioid epidemic is just destroying families and people's lives. My first question is, if the county receives a favorable ruling and is awarded monetary damages, how would that money be spent?
We're not anywhere near that. It would certainly go into the general fund, but we're far away from that.
How long do you expect the case to last?
It's impossible to say. The judge, I was reading a transcript from a hearing he had maybe 2 weeks ago. He is really anxious to create a settlement and to create a settlement in 2018. And that's what he said on the record at the hearing in Ohio. But there are a lot of litigants involved, and it could go to trial. I mean, there's no way to predict it. He believes it's doable, and he believes that it's doable in 2018, at least he was as of the transcript that I received a couple of weeks ago, but it's impossible to predict.
Thank you.
Any more yes, Councilman.
Yeah, Mr. Field or Donna, administration. I know the council had tasked the administration to look at an opioid task force. What are we doing well? What can we learn from? What are different things we can do to continue to combat this issue that we all agree is a major issue, not only in the county, but everywhere. Is there any update or anything has happened on that task force yet that you know of?
I haven't been involved. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, if you could email me and the council, because I know it's something that I think we're all interested in, and we're all looking at ways, what can we do more, what can we do differently, what can we learn from? Because, yeah, I totally think this is anything we do to help battle against this, I think would be great.
Yes, Councilman Katz.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just very quickly, is the 25% include the fees and expenses, or are they over and above the 25%?
No, right. In other words, there'll be a recovery, and they're fronting the fees, so they'll take, fees and expenses out of it, and then it'll be 25% of whatever's left over.
Thank you.
Any more questions? All right, thank you very much, Mr. Fields. I'm happy to see us join ranks with the other jurisdictions and do whatever we can to stem this horrible catastrophe. Next, we're going to go a little bit out of order and call up Mr. Keith Dorsey, Director of Budget and Finance, to moving to page 9, United Elevator Company. Good afternoon, Mr. Dorsey.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the County Council. What is this, Fiscal Matter 4?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fiscal Matter 4 is a request for approval of a contract with United Elevator Company to provide maintenance and repair and installation for wheelchair lifts as well as dumb waiters in county-owned and operated buildings. The contract is for 1 year with 4 additional 1-year renewals and the possibility of a 120-day extension of any of those periods. The full not-to-exceed limit for the 5-year, 4-month term is just under $1.2 million.
Any questions? Yes, Councilwoman.
Mr. Dorsey, was this the only bidder to
Yes.
respond to this?
Yes, the county has a elevator contract with Otis Elevator Company, and at times they provided this service through them, but they didn't have the actual skill set for doing it. They would always have to subcontract those particular services. So we went out to bid to see if there was anyone else who could provide the service directly. They were the only responder, but their amount came in at a lower rate than what we were paying to subcontract through Otis Elevator.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, moving along to fiscal matter number 5, amendment to contract with Mans Woodward Studios, page 11.
Yes, the county administration is requesting an amendment to the not-to-exceed limit for the Mans Woodward Studios contract. We also have a contract for other on-call architectural services with Rubeling and Associates. They are at close to their limit in terms of what we could continue to have them take on in terms of services. So we're requesting that the contract with Mans Woodward be increased, the not-to-exceed limit increased by $5 million from $2 million to $7 million. There was a question, I think, that was forwarded on to me that was asking, essentially, well, their initial term for Mans would end this September. How would we expect to spend the $5 million? Well, it's not. In terms of this Man's Woodward Studios is a PSSC contract through Public Services, and we're able to come back and request also separately a extension of time, and we would expect that we would extend the time by another 2 years, just as it was done for Rubling and Associates. So within that 2-year, what would be now between now and 2 additional years, 2.5 years, the $5 million is consistent with the current levels of expenditures.
Okay. Any questions? Hearing none. Mr. Dorsey, we'll move along to page 14, fiscal item number 6, court reporting services.
Right. We're requesting approval of a contract, contracts actually, with 4 contractors. MS Reporting, who's doing business as Irwin Reporting Company, with CRC Holdings, who does business as CRC Salomon, with Capital Reporting Company, and with A&A Court Reporting. These 4 contracts help support the work of multiple agencies in terms of the liquor boards, the OBS self-insurance fund, for capital projects and others. We're requesting approval level for a 5-year, well, it would be initially a 1-year with 4 1-year automatic renewals and the possible extension of 120 days. The total not to exceed limit for that, what would be total 5-year and 4-month period, we have it set at $200,000. I believe someone was wondering the question in terms of the $200,000. The previous contract was for $880,000. So this is and although it was for 10 years, that still was a lot there. We cut it down. Perhaps it could have been cut down further, but we will not expend any further than the amount that's needed to be spent.
Any questions? Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Dorsey.
Thank you.
Next, Mr. Steve Walsh, going to come up. We'll talk about fiscal matter number 2, page 4, Pollock Research and Design. Good afternoon.
Mr. Chairman, members of the council. The administration is requesting approval of a contract with Pollock Research and Design Incorporated, doing business as Redding Crane and Engineering Company, to provide annual maintenance, inspection, and repair services for overhead crane and hoist systems and related equipment located at county-owned facilities. And these would be sewer pump stations, fire stations, and the Glenarm facility. Contract commenced December 1st, 2017, continues through March 31st of 18, and may not exceed $25,000 unless it's approved by the council. If approved, the contract would continue through November 30th, 2018, and would automatically renew for 4 additional 1-year periods with the option to further extend the term an additional 120 days. Compensation may not exceed $180,000 for the entire 5-year, 4-month term, including the renewal and extension periods. And there was some questions from the auditors. This is a new contract. The question was, how did we previously maintain, inspect, and repair overhead cranes and hoist systems? Well, there was no inspection process or protocol. Basically, when an issue came up, we would do an emergency procurement and get it fixed. So we hope to now document the process a little bit better and get a more routine inspection cycle. And they were the only bidder to respond to the request. The question was, how do we ensure that the rates are competitive? Well, you put something out, you hope that that competitive process, you get the best rates. It's a unique company and service, and it was the only bidder we got. So the rates look reasonable, and asking for approval.
Okay. Any questions? Yes, sir, Councilman Crandall.
Good afternoon, Mr. Walsh. Just, I want to see if we can get a bit of an update. It seems like the water main breaks and leaks, seems like that we're doing better. Seems like we certainly are. How are things going?
Yeah, they have wound down quite a bit. The county stopped assisting the city last Friday with contractor crews. After that, there was a little spike again. So right now, I think there was 13, if I remember, 13 county breaks, 33 total in the city. But they're still coming in. Obviously, a lot better than the 50 county breaks of 120 that I reported to y'all a couple weeks back. So, yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I know it's been a trying time. So hopefully those numbers continue to dwindle. Thanks.
Thank you. Any more questions? Okay. I guess we move right along to fiscal matter number 3, page 6, Duke's Root Control.
Administration is requesting approval of a contract with Duke's Root Control Incorporated to provide chemical root control treatment services for sanitary sewer lines on an as-needed basis. And what this is, when we cut roots out of a sewer line, usually that makes the roots come back quicker, as if you prune your trees at home, it makes them grow more. So what we do is follow up the sawing of roots out of our sewers with root control to try to keep that down. We have places in the county that there's a lot of big trees, and those roots grow in the sewers and cause us problems and create maintenance problems. So that's what it's for. Contract would commence upon council approval, continue for 1 year, and would automatically renew for 4 additional 1-year periods with the option to further extend the term or any renewal term for additional 120 days. Compensation may not exceed $1,329,412 for the entire 5-year, 4-month term, including renewal and extension periods. And there also was an auditor question on this one, similar to the last one. We received 2 bids for this particular contract, and the lower bidder was deemed non-responsive, and there was a pretty big difference in price between the low bidder at that time and the winning bidder. How do we ensure that these rates are competitive? Well, once again, you put it out for competitive bid. Unfortunately, we disqualified the low bidder due to an MBE problem. He did not fill his paperwork out correctly and ignored the process. So this is the low bid as we have it right now. They are more expensive than that other bidder, but we went through the process, and this is where we are.
Any questions?
Yeah, not on this, but considering the previous bill regarding the question about the broken water mains, et cetera, do you know if the administration plans to go to Annapolis to support legislation that's been introduced to convert our metropolitan water system into a similar body like the WSSC, where the county and the city and the other jurisdictions that are served by this system would all be part of a board, and it would be an independent body to control this. Do you know if the county's taken a position or has?
I do not know that answer. I know that issue's been talked about for many, many years.
Yeah.
Well, the county council in 2010 passed a resolution unanimously, I believe, in support of that concept.
Okay.
So,
do you know, Mr. Moxley, whether or not Okay, thank you. Let us know. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Mr. Walsh, I do have a question getting back to the root control. How significant a price was it? I mean, do we have reason to believe that the first bidder that was much cheaper had the capabilities or resources to do the job?
He did have the capabilities. He had the prior contract. The question is now you put the contract out, he's disqualified. So do we throw out the sort of the procurement rules because he came in with a lower price but was thrown out as a non-responsive bidder? He didn't do what he should have done through the procurement process, and that was deemed disqualified. So.
Okay, speaking of procurement rules, I mean, it's our prerogative all the time, right? Like at the 9th hour, we can decide we don't need these services anymore.
Sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any more questions? All right. Well, while we have you there, Mr. Walsh, I guess we'll move right along to Resolution 5-18, which is on page 17. This is dealing with the triennial review of the Baltimore County Water Supply and Sewage Plan, and it is required to have a public hearing. So this will act as the public hearing. I believe we have 2 speakers. So we will have you start, Mr. Walsh.
Resolution 5-18 would adopt the report of the 2017 triennial review of the Baltimore County Water Supply and Sewage Plan. Title 9, Subtitle 5 of the Environmental Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland requires the county to adopt a comprehensive 10-year water supply and sewage plan. State law also requires the county to review its plan every 3 years and submit a report of the review to the Maryland Department of the Environment. The last separate triennial review report was approved by the council following recommendation of the planning board in 2014, and that was resolution 116-14. The 2014 triennial review was approved by MDE in a letter dated May 21st, 2015. The new triennial review was due for submission in 2017. The review includes updated population projections and reports on the status of the public water and sewer infrastructure and private on-site well and septic system issues, and demonstrates consistency with Master Plan 2020 and all applicable county and state requirements for water and sewer planning. The Planning Board held a public hearing on the report on July 20th, 2017, and voted at its regular meeting of September 7th, 2017 to adopt the 2017 triennial review and recommend that it be forwarded to council for further action. The council's public hearing would occur at the work session on January 9th. Actually, that's wrong, I guess. The public hearing is today.
I believe it was due January 9th.
That's
but
right.
for some reason, it was delayed.
The resolution shall take effect from the date of the passage by the county council. And I actually brought Dave Thomas with me today. He has been the architect of this plan for the county for many years. And any questions you may have?
Okay. Are you ready for questions?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll start with Mr. Katch and then Councilwoman Allen.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
I understand that the state of Maryland had some questions, concerns about the plan that was submitted, and I understand Mr. Thomas has changed the proposal or has made changes to in regard to the state concerns. Can you fill me in on that? Are there extensive amendments to the plan? Mm-hmm. No, we're voting on this, what, Monday, Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
Monday, will you be available to meet with me? I don't know if anyone else on the council is interested. Councilman Allman is interested as well, and Mark. So I'd like to come up with a time where we could all get together so we can take a look at this. And is that okay with you? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you mind if other parties are there? Good. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Councilwoman Allman?
Yes, has the public seen the latest draft? Oh, okay. It is on the FTC site. If you go to Public Works website, it will refer you to that and give you the username and password. So in that sense, yes, it is available to the public at this time.
Okay.
It's unlikely anyone's had a chance to look at it substantially. I've had some concerns from some of my constituents just about the language, that it doesn't really enforce the role of the ERDL, and I think that's some of the things that we'd like to talk to you about to make sure that the ERDL continues to have the strength that it's always had moving forward. There's no change in policy, and the wording that was in the original plan board draft was rewritten for clarity a little bit, rewritten for simplicity. We went back and looked at it, and that wording has been replaced pretty much with taking verbatim text out of the Master Plan 2020, and in particular directing new water and sewer growth inside the ERDL. It's unequivocal.
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to have time to really get through this before Monday? I mean, is there any way to extend this to the next council meeting?
That was my question as well. Well, is there an urgency? Is there a state requirement?
45 days.
We were late by 2 months, and the state never really worries too much about that.
Mhm.
They'd rather have it correct and make sure that you're satisfied. So an extra 2 weeks or something, I don't think unless even a district is something. That's what I'd like to propose.
I agree with you.
I agree.
Okay, we'd like to do that, then we'll have time to really go through it with you and with those interested from the public sector. Okay, thank you.
And,
Thank you.
Mr. Thomas, I did have, what exactly is it, if the policy hasn't changed and the wording hasn't changed, what is causing the concerns?
well, I think,
Go ahead,
I
Councilman.
think
Marks.
they're really smart people who've gone through this in, I think, all 3 of our districts. And the Green Towson Alliance, they've looked at this, and I think they're concerned about the documentation for the Towson Run, Lower Jones Falls, and Lake Roland interceptors. If there's a way you could go through the Green Towson Alliance's testimony and come up with your responses, that would be helpful, I think, to all 3 of us.
And I think also some constituents of mine had issues with Lake Roland that I think we just need to clarify, and then also make sure that the language for the ERDL is strong, as it's always been.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Walsh?
No, I spoke with Mr. Fogelson before the meeting here, and we agreed that we would meet, certainly whether we all want to meet in the same room, that's fine. We have attempted to respond respond to the questions over a period of time, we will make one final attempt to turn them to the dark side, or hopefully we can convince them that we're doing things the right way. And we certainly are confident in what we do. We're confident in our working within the consent decree and being in accordance with the consent decree, and certainly the Towson information, we can try to clarify information there. So we'll take a stab at it.
Chairman?
Okay, so in terms of moving forward, you and the other council members will do your best to meet at some period, and then if unsuccessful, we'll postpone it. You're okay with that?
Yes.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Mr. Chair, can we have the council staff arrange the meeting?
Sure, we can set it up, and we'll schedule this for the following agenda.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Anything else, Mr. Walsh?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. Now we have two speakers. Mr. Larry, any more questions? You good? Okay. Mr. Larry Fogelson? Good afternoon, and we have you being against the resolution.
I have to pick a side, I guess, but maybe we can work things out. Our wish has already been granted, so maybe we can save 3 minutes or so. I don't know, but we had, I'm not going to read the whole testimony. I have copies to hand out. You all can look at it. I'll just kind of summarize that we had two issues about notice. Oh, yeah, okay, make sure I have my yeah. Notice provision, state notice requirements, and county transparency. I learned on my way in today from your receptionist that this hearing notice was someplace on the council website that was not where anybody would look. So that kind of threw us off. We kept looking in the last post. On the meetings part of the website was October of 17. Apparently you have to click on the banner. That seems to be another topic to find out about these meetings. So that maybe is just something that can be corrected. But we have broader. We've asked questions about compliance with notice, showing where it was posted pursuant to the state law. We found it was in the, you post things in the Jeffersonian. The Jeffersonian website says that their circulation is 725. If that's a newspaper of general circulation, okay, I can't believe it. And I think that's probably what the county's been doing as I regularly for decades, so for a long time. That just seems kind of inconsistent with a newspaper of general circulation. Maybe there's case law on what that definition is, I don't know, but, or something. Maybe it's a term of art. But it really should be in the papers that people see and look at. The other thing is a broader concern about plan content and its ability to know from the plan what really is going on, what the needs are, why the needs have developed out of land use and development projections, and how those translate into operating and capital projects. The plan is very, very generalized on those topics. You cannot look at the plan and really know, for example, that Towson Run Sewer, which we're interested in, is we don't know where that is. You can't find out from the plan. There's a line item, there's a price, and where is it, what size is it, why is it needed? We've been asking a lot of questions about those sorts of things, and I think Mr. Gukin may have a little more to say about the details. None of this should be new to you at this point. So, thank you.
Okay. I believe Councilman Quirk has a comment or a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we do have a bill coming out, sort of related, sort of a little less related, but we are looking at ways that we can continue to make our communication flow better with the community. Even simple things like our community updates and requiring certain notices and timeframes before things happen. So you'll be seeing that soon because we can definitely certainly do better.
More transparency would be
We need it.
very welcome.
Yes.
Are you interested in this meeting that we're talking about?
Absolutely.
Okay, you let Chris know.
I'll be away February 3rd to 11th. I don't know if that affects their ability to meet.
Where are you
Uh,
going?
On the on the legendary Rhythm and Blues Cruise, my 10th cruise on that.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
Any questions for Mr. Fogelson?
Hey, you're invited.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Fogelson. Let me just add one note as Mr. Was it Gookin? Gookin, please come on up, sir. You know, a lot of times we talk about transparency. It's no question in today's times, most information is there for people who go out and look. It's very difficult for us to put it on banners and fly it on airplanes. I mean, at some point you have to look. But in your case, sir, it appears as though you did take some initiative and look for it and couldn't find it. So I imagine we can do better. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Roger Gookin. I'm a member of the Adequate Public Facilities Sewer Work Group of the Green Towson Alliance and a resident of Towson. I'm a retired sewer contractor, experienced with sewer construction in this region. We're very concerned about capacity and the large sewer flows, so I'm going to talk about sewer flows. I want to talk about sewer flow data in English.
Goes downhill, right?
Good luck. MGD is millions of gallons per day. I compared the Jones Falls Sewer Shed dry weather pipe capacity tables with the 20-year, 24-hour storm tables provided by Baltimore County to us in 2016, compared it to the basic services map. The BSM does not show any areas of concern in the Jones Falls Sewer Shed. The data tables indicate some system concerns in dry weather and significant concerns in a large storm. The data and plans tell me in the upper Jones Falls portion of the sewer shed that flows to manhole 6888 at the head of Lake Roland in a 30-inch pipe, at least 12 upstream manholes show no capacity available in wet weather. The pipe to manhole 20753 has a capacity of 1.77 MGD, and the county is trying to flow 3.3 MGD through it on a dry day. About 10 million on a wet day. Upstream manholes are surged from 11 to 7 feet in wet weather. The roll and run portion, it's really backed up. It's not flowing into people's basements. The roll and run portion of the sewer shed flows in a 42-inch pipe to the same manhole from Lutherville. At least 5 upstream manholes show no capacity available in wet weather. Manholes are surged from 7 to 8 feet deep. The Towson Run portion of the sewer shed currently flows in a 21-inch pipe from Charles Street to Bologna Avenue, becoming 24-inch before flowing into the same structure, 6888, at the head of Lake Roland. At least 3 upstream manholes show no capacity available in wet weather. Plans tell me a new 24-inch sewer is designed in Towson Town Boulevard to start approximately 21 feet deep at Washington Avenue and run downhill 1.1 miles to Charles Street. Excuse me. All of the sewer flows to Baltimore City from manhole 688 in a 3,000-foot-long, 42-inch diameter pipe under Lake Roland. Then it flows between the dam and New Lake Roland Nature Center downriver to the Baltimore City Junction Chamber. The pipe from 6883 to 6882 is laid backwards with negative capacity available, yet 10 MGD needs to pass through on a dry day and 40 MGD on a wet day. The data indicates 30 MGD of stormwater is illegally discharged into the sewer pipe from Baltimore County in a 20-year, 24-hour storm. That's a lot. For reference, the recently contracted $430 million Headworks project in the city is designed to store 36 million gallons of rainfall surge. Don't rubber stamp rubber stamp this plan if it shows no concerns. Ask questions if you have doubts. Adequate roads, schools, and sewers are basic services all citizens expect. We need science to drive public health policy, not development pressures. Please take this seriously.
Okay. Mr.
Gookin.
Gookin?
Yes, sir.
First of all, you have very detailed testimony.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know about the rest of my colleagues, but I was lost.
Yes, sir.
So if you can very briefly
Right.
just tell us what you're, I know what you're talking about, but
Yes, sir.
just, I heard you say one thing was in backwards. Just say it in
Yeah, one-
English so we understand what you're
Some,
talking about.
A couple of their pipelines are laid backwards,
Okay.
restricting the flow. The short answer is in dry weather, there's generally great capacity. In wet weather, there's so much leakage into the system that it's overwhelming the system and backing it up into the manholes.
Okay.
So that's why there's less than 100% capacity available in wet weather.
Okay.
And
I thank you, and
the
I take it.
lawyers and engineers find ways to talk around capacity issues, and they tell you it's not squirting out of the manhole, so there's no threat of overflow. But yet our streams are dirty. There's high bacteria.
All right.
that,
Any
well,
questions? We thank you for the Reader's Digest version, and we have your information. I take it you and.
appreciate your concern and the willingness of Public Works to meet with us and discuss these things.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we have his information, right? Yes. All right. Councilman?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, did Teresa Moore, did you want to make any comments representing the Valley's Planning Council, or I'm sure you want to go to the meeting? Good, okay. But we have your information about the meeting then. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir, Mr. Walsh. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Bring some pillows so some people can fall asleep. Okay, next we'll move right along to miscellaneous business number 3, page 18, resolution 13-18, approval of the Mr. Wally Lippincott. Agriculture easements. Let's see how much detail can we get out of this.
Good afternoon, Chairman and
Good
members
afternoon.
of the council. The administration is requesting approval of Resolution 13-18 to provide county matching funds for the acquisition of 11 agricultural preservation easements totaling 732 acres through the FY 17-18 Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Program, state program. The amount of matching funds is just over $1.3 million. If approved and settled, these new easements will advance the county's preservation acreage to just over 65,000 acres, reaching a milestone of 80% of our 80,000 acre goal. The 11 farm easements proposed for funding were selected from 20 applicants received in May 2016. The applications were reviewed, ranked, and approved by this body through Resolution 110-16 on October 17, 2016. The state appraised the farms and made offers in the summer and fall of 2017. The deadline for the next agricultural easement application is May 1st of 2018. Your approval is requested.
Thank you.
Are there any questions? Yes, Councilman Katz.
Thank you very much. I, first of all, want to thank those 11 families that were willing to sell their development rights. I want to thank the county for their $1.3 million contribution and the state of Maryland for their $4.2 million contribution is, I think, isn't it that we are pretty close to 66,000? I think it's 65,875.
We're getting, there are a couple of properties
Yeah.
that haven't settled, so you're
Okay.
probably a little ahead of me on counting those.
Okay, so this is great. And we're getting closer and closer. So
Yes, sir.
thank you for all your efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. This will conclude the work session today. Everybody have a safe trip home.